Tactical 40K. Don't mind the mess. I don't know what I was doing here. I just put everybody up, and then I got like paintbrushes and stuff here. But I was gonna tell everybody or show everybody how I've been deploying in a tipping point battle, whatever setup. And tipping point, which I don't have it marked out here, is where you have like the deployment is essentially up, like I think it's 20 or something, and it cuts across. And then the midboard, it comes down to like 12 and comes back across here. And usually you have an objective over here, objective there, and objective over there. And I can put some down. They're not going to be measured, obviously, but we're over there and like right here in the center, obviously. Of course, there's also depends on some things, and then there's usually one over there by those aggressors. But we're not concerned about that. I'm just showing you how I'm deploying my custodian guys here. So that's one of the good things about having like witch seekers, and one of the reasons you take them is because they have a scout move. And usually, I get these girls prepared. One, it kind of depends on how he's deploying in there. You can tell usually he's not gonna deploy on the face of this because he doesn't want to be open to shooting. So usually they're gonna be behind things. So you can deploy these girls, up here. That's how I've been doing it. And the reason I do that right there is because if I get first move, I can scout, and I'm preparing for cards. So the other thing is that this last tournament I took my Avisar Assassin. You can take other things that have infiltrate, or if you take Kyria Draxus and guard, you can put them over here in order to fulfill this role as well. But I'll put him, it doesn't even matter. I'll put him in the front, he's alone up, or I'll put him over here. I've put him here just because you can scout 9 with him. He's got a little flexibility, but in a sense, if you had Kyria Draxus or something, you put him behind here, or put her and the guys behind here, and then hopefully you get your lone up. That helps out a little bit. Or if you have any of the other assassins, you can infiltrate them and just put them there, or put them like right there so they're not on the objective, just in case. But I like to have scout moves in this. One reason is because you can keep the unit safe, and just in case they're fast moving. Of course, it depends on your enemy. But I like having them over here. Let's just say I'm going to put them on the other side of this building, or put them right. Well, theoretically, he's on the other side of this building. So if you go first, you can scout up. If you go second, you can scout back. And same goes with these girls. So they're ready to scout up if we get first turn. If not, we're scouting back and we're preparing them for, excuse me, countering deep strikes. If there's like a World Eaters army, making sure that they're out, countering a lot of other different plays and kind of protecting some of these guys in the first turn or two. Also, like I said, preparing for cards. So if you get drawn like containment, and you need to go out 6 inches, or out here and be within 6 inches of a board edge. So all of a sudden, outside your deployment zone. So all of a sudden, bam, you can go over there. Bam, you can go over here. Bam, you score 6 points. The other thing is like secure no man's land in this configuration. Bam, you got yours. Bam, this guy, he scouts up. First turn, bam, secure no man's land. Coming back or whatever, The girls can then be pulled back to your scout move, and then you prepare them in your movement phase. If you don't get your first turn, then that's where you're like, okay, well, let's scout the girls back. And then this guy, depending on how they're set up, you can still scout him forward a lot of times because he's such a maneuverable piece. The Avisar Assassin and a lot of the other assassins, whether that be him or the where's my Cladius? That's not where she went. Oh, here she is. Or the Cladius. They can uppy downy and then drop them in there and do the same kind of action. So these are the 2 best ones for deployment wise and for doing action. Well, I mean the Vindicator's like 150 points, so I'm kind of leaving him out because he can infiltrate and do some things, but 150 points to bring that dude is just like he's way over costed for any other army to bring him as an attachment. But the Caluxus is also good too, but you'd be starting him. If you were to use him for this role, you would more likely need to start him on the board, because if you keep him off and use his deep strike, which you want to do, so you don't want him in this role, you'd have to sacrifice some of his playability. So to me, the Caluxus is a different piece and a different he's searching for psychers and getting lanes of fire and popping up 3 inches and really screwing people over. So that's what I do there. And the other thing is a lot of these units here that I have like on this board, if you can see, they're slightly off screen here, but a lot of my units are going to be in deep strike up to points values. Other ones, I'm putting a unit of maybe the Blade Champions. What are the units of him? Wherever he's attached to, usually Wardens. I'm putting them back here, and that way, if I need to use the advance and charge, of course, it's depending on who you're going against as well. But for the majority of the opponents I face, I usually put one there and put one there. Then I utilize them to score or score those cards in the first round, and or pull back, and then we prepare to make our push. And that is with the Wardens, and usually Blade Champs Wardens, sometimes a Warden and Guardian. I like keeping the Guardian though, I think, at this point, in deep striking and putting a real hammer like Trajan in, like I did this last tournament that I played and finished second. Then you wrap and aggress him, get him in some funny areas, maybe in the mid board, and really hammer down on some units and get rerolls. So that's a good gate. The other thing is, if you have a unit, like I like my bikes, even though a lot of people don't. I like the bikes. I'll throw them over here too. The only thing I don't like about them is that now we're playing this weird game. So in this scenario, I'm going to put my bikes more like right here so that there's less lanes to really fire on me. So I'm trying to cut this angle down here so that he can't get me. And then I'm putting them, usually I'm taking 3 bikes, so I'm putting them in here. There's no lanes of fire unless he comes across, even right there with the way the train is. And then I can come and score. It's harder to do containment. You'd have to put them like this and then come around, but to sacrifice, you got to be really good with this unit to put them in places where they're not going to get hit. Otherwise, you're sacrificing, 140 point, and if you have, for 2 bike, what is that, 210 for 3, or you're taking the bike captain. That's 280 points, because that's how I usually run them, bike captain that. And the reason I bike captain is because they come up here. If they get first turn, I'm countering, bam, or come up here, bam, hit them, and then I fall back and do a normal move with the shield captain special ability. But the bikes are good. They hit hard. They move fast, and they're just not as durable as you'd like to be. Putting them at risk for a couple of for 5-6 points. You'd like them to take out their equivalent amount of points and then also score you points. But they're not bad. They're not bad. So they're another unit to consider. But for scoring wise, granted, this guy's 120 points or 100, and then 50. So you're really scoring more points with just investing 150, 170 points. Granted, they don't have the hitting power as a squad of bikes. I mean, this guy can go hammer once a game, and he's actually pretty beastly in general. But same with her. They're not bad. But anyway, however you want to play, this is how you kind of want to set up on Tipping Point, and anticipating certain draws and cards, and anticipating enemy movement. So, peace.